Greetings, this is the Timeshare Traveler, and today is episode 115, Why This Vistana Owner Opted In to Be in ABOUND. So the overview, I'll be going through the decision criteria, go through my Vistana ownership just so you can get a sense of what I have, and the advantages of opting in, and combine points with Marriott since I'm a Marriott owner as well. And then I wanted to experience more Marriott locations, and I'll talk to you about that as well. Before I do that, let me tell you a little bit about my channel, and then I'll drop right into the details. Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm the Timeshare Traveler. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of my channel is to educate those who love traveling in timeshares. I've been an owner for 15 plus years at timeshare ownership. I have elite ownership with Marriott, Hilton, and Worldmark. I have published over 100 timeshare video reviews, and I've published over 95 timeshare tips. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, at Twitter, Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com. So what was my decision criteria? So I guess, are you happy with only using Vistana properties? That's kind of one of the things I was like, I don't know. Do you own Marriott points as well? In my case, I do. So it's kind of like, well, that might be a benefit to have more points. Do you want to try out the Marriott locations, or are you just happy with what you got? And that's kind of where I am exploring. How many points do you have in the new program when you combine them? So that gives you a sense of, does it make more things possible than staying separate? And should you opt in for 1 year or multiple years? You can make a decision when you opt in whether you do the points for 1 year or multiple years. Advantage of multiple years, you could then borrow the total amount back, and even get even greater capability in 2023. Or the other approach is, you just sort of watch, stay where you are, see what other people do, and then learn from what you read about from that. So those are kind of the things I thought about, different angles from different times before I decided ultimately to opt in. I opted in for the 1 year. Okay, just to go through my Vistana ownership, just to give you a background, that way you can compare it maybe potentially to yours. I've owned Vistana since 2007, so I've had it quite a while. Had a chance to experience it. I have 110,000 points, and that's good for a one bedroom for about 9 days, or studio for almost 2 weeks, but not quite. And the Vistana ownership is 3210 points, so that's more than I actually own in ABOUND or the Marriott program, so I could actually more than double what I have. And I also have 100,000 Vistana bonus points that I got a 3-year upgrade. I did an upgrade, and then I got 3 years to use it. So they expire at the end of 2023. So that gives me an option to keep the bonus points in Vistana and opt in. So that's one of the criteria that's unique to my situation. Maybe not most that I had. I can still have points in Vistana, but also upgrade kind of what I have in ABOUND. And I've owned Marriott only since 2019, so not as much use of Marriott since then. The advantages for opting in, at least the way I saw them, and this make sense to you or may not. All the locations are in ABOUND, so I don't lose location access. I did a video where I was trying to compare points differences, and sometimes they were better in ABOUND, sometimes they were better in Vistana, and that's a lot of work to figure it out. But there's a video, I'll put the link in the description, so you can take a look at that if that would help you make your decision. But I did look at that as well in preparation for ABOUND actually being live. And I get to combine my points together, and that gives me a sense, I get to maximize that, and I can decide next year to opt in or not. I'm not going to opt in 2 years in a row. I don't want to try to pull and try to really maximize my things. And I keep my bonus points in Vistana, so I don't lose anything there. I basically have 1 year's worth, so it's kind of, I get to be bigger in Marriott and kind of the same in Vistana, and I'll see how that goes over the year. And my last thought is if features get added, still ABOUND is still new, so I think there's still more work to be done. I'm pretty sure they're going to go into ABOUND, and nothing really is going to be done in Vistana, so I wanted to get a sense of, as the new opportunities come out, what that might be. And just going through again, I've been in combined points. I've got owners in Marriott only since 2019, but Vistana was 2027. So I'm pretty excited about more locations to choose from, and Currently I have 2,500, so I can bump that up to over 5,700 plus by moving to Vistana in. So that makes sense. It allows me to play many more locations and be thinking through that. So it's just more vacation choices, and actually it's more that they're new because I really have only been a Marriott owner for a short period. And so I think that's, for me, it really makes sense. For everybody else, hopefully this gives you information on what would be right for you, but this is just my perspective. And so I'm going to take advantage of Marriott next year. And a few more specifics, more locations. It's not like I haven't done a lot. I've stayed in Kauai, Hawaii, and Maui. I've stayed in Palm Springs and Myrtle Beach, Branson, Missouri, and California. And I like those locations. I'd like to go back to them, and having more points gives me a chance to do that. But I also have some of my bucket lists here, like Lake Tahoe. I've got quite a few in Colorado. And then I haven't done much in Florida overall, but I'd like to do more in Florida. And so there's quite a bit nice resorts in Orlando and other locations within Florida. And then there's international ones, which are pretty exciting, actually. More so than the Vistana side for some reason for me. I think it's Bali and Phuket, Thailand, and maybe even I think there's other places in Thailand. And Williamsburg, Virginia is kind of fun because it's on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. And last place is Park City. So I've got quite a few bucket list items that I've got in front of me. So combining it lets me do new locations in new places for me, and I think that's pretty exciting. And that's all, to me, that's what timeshare is about, is experiencing new things. Hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.